on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, in coral lagoons off the coast of Papua New Guinea, where the waves carry not just sea salt, but ancient laws that folks in other parts of the world just don't get. Here, on the Trobriand Islands, a girl doesn't say no, not because she doesn't have the right to, but because no means something totally different here. Here, when a choice is made, it's sacred. Here, a man who chooses a girl doesn't get turned down. He gets a night. One night. No questions asked, no explanations needed, no promises of forever. But why? Why would a tribe living in a tropical paradise create a custom that seems wild and incomprehensible to Europeans? Isn't this coercion? Isn't this violence against women? It's not what it seems. This is a different system, different rules entirely. An island of traditions. Picture this, a world turned upside down. A world where inheritance passes through the female line, where women hold the power, not men, where a man comes into a woman's family, not the other way around. This is Trobriand, a unique society that's kept its customs alive for thousands of years. Here, from an early age, girls understand their fate is in their own hands. Their right to self-determination matters, but their choices are tied to the interests of the whole community. Growing up here follows special rules. Teenagers learn the traditions of relationships. They get familiar with cultural norms. They master the basics of social interaction. All of this is part of their cultural heritage. Women here are just as active and dominant in choosing partners as men are. This isn't just allowed, it's encouraged. But then, where's the coercion? Where's the obligation to spend the night with anyone who chooses her? Sacred choice, when yes matters more than no. The truth is way more complex than simple headlines. In traditional Trobriand culture, there's no custom forcing girls to spend the night with just any man. So what's really going on? A system of mutual choice with a magical twist. A man who wants to win over a girl doesn't just walk up to her. He uses love magic. He prepares spells. He rubs coconut oil mixed with herbs on his body. He recites incantations over a betel nut and offers it to the girl. The girl eats the nut. The magic starts working, but not by force, not against her will, but as an amplifier of her own desire. If a girl accepts a betel nut from a man, she's accepted his courtship. If she agrees to stay with him until dawn, she's chosen him. One night, one morning, one life. On the Trobriand Islands, there's no wedding ceremony in the usual sense. There's a simple ritual. A girl stays in a man's house until morning, instead of leaving before dawn. In the morning, they sit together. They wait for the girl's mother to bring them cooked yams. They eat together, and from that moment on, they're considered husband and wife. But what if the girl doesn't want to get married? What if she just wants to spend the night with a man without tying her life to his? She leaves before dawn, and nobody judges her for it. There's no concept of slut or whore here. There's the concept of choice, and a woman's right to that choice is the same as a man's. The magic of beauty and the right to desire. Why do women have so much freedom in this culture? Because here, beauty and desire are power. Young people learn beauty spells from older relatives in exchange for food, tobacco, and money. Spells are often partially lost because the elders give out just a few lines at a time to keep getting gifts. A man can direct magical spells to enhance the visual and aromatic effects of his body to trigger erotic feelings in his beloved. It's believed that some spells make a person beautiful, even those usually considered unattractive. But women use the same magic. They have the same rights, the same ability to influence men. And if a woman chooses a man, her choice is final. a culture of consent in a world without shame. By modern standards, Trobriand culture is one of the first consent cultures in human history. There's no violence here. There's mutual desire, enhanced by magic and rituals. Yes, there's pressure here, but not on the woman, on the man. If a man wants to win over a girl, he has to learn love magic, properly prepare spells, give gifts, show respect for her family, prove he's worthy of her attention, and the girl has the right to say no at any stage, even after accepting the betel nut. Why Europeans got the custom wrong? Anthropologist Bronislaw Malinowski, who studied the Trobriand Islands in the early 20th century, was shocked by the freedom women had in this culture. His work became the foundation for many myths about islands of love and free love. But later research showed that Malinowski only saw the surface. He didn't understand that he was seeing not coercion, but freedom, not savagery, but a highly developed culture of consent. European travelers interpreted women's assertiveness as promiscuity, and a girl's right to spend the night with a man as an obligation. They completely flipped the meaning. Matrilineality as the foundation of female power. Why do women have such freedom in Trobriand culture? Because here, woman is the center of the family. Inheritance passes through the female line. Children belong to the mother's clan. Land, names, jewelry, spells, dances, and taboos, everything belongs to members of separate matrilineal clans. A man can give his children a name and land, but later they must be returned by the man's sisters. In such a society, a woman isn't a man's property. She's the owner. She's the one who makes decisions. The ritual of choice, how it really works. Picture a tropical night on the island. A full moon reflects in the lagoon. Drums sound in the village. There's a harvest festival going on. The young man has been preparing for this moment for days. He studied spells. He prepared coconut oil with herbs. He chose the best betel nut. He sees a girl he likes, but he can't just approach her. He has to find an intermediary. The intermediary is face-saving protection. If the girl refuses, the man won't be publicly humiliated. The intermediary approaches the girl, says the young man wants to meet her, passes along the betel nut with the spell. And here's where the girl's choice begins. The moment of truth. Betel nut as a symbol of consent. The girl holds the betel nut in her hands. She knows, if she eats it, she accepts the man's courtship. If she doesn't eat it, she's politely refusing. Nobody forces her to eat the nut. It's her choice. But if she ate it, the magic begins. Not coercion, but an enhancement of mutual attraction. The man approaches, starts courting, shows his best qualities, dances, sings, tells stories. And the girl evaluates, decides, chooses. And at the end of the night, she makes her final decision: stay until morning or leave. Morning as a symbol of new beginnings. If a girl stays until morning, this doesn't mean she's obligated to marry the man. It means she chose him for this night. In the morning, she can stay and wait for the yams brought by her mother, a symbol of consent to marriage. Leave and never meet this man again. Continue dating but not commit to marriage. All options are equally acceptable to society. There's no shame for intimacy here. There's only respect for a woman's choice. Divorce as a continuation of freedom. What if a woman realizes a year later that she made the wrong choice in a husband? In Trobriand culture, divorce is a simple procedure. A woman can divorce at any time if she's unhappy with her husband. The man can try to win her back by bringing gifts to her family, but the final decision always rests with the woman. If that's not freedom, what is? Modern research, myth-busting. Modern anthropologists studying the Trobriand Islands categorically debunk the myth about forcing girls to spend the night with any man. Günter Senft, who spent many years on the islands, writes, "Trobrianders grant this sexual freedom only to unmarried or divorced and single men and women, but not to married people." Researchers emphasize in Trobriand culture, women use intermediaries if they want to arrange first dates. The main reason for this is to save face if their proposal is rejected by the desired person. The most direct way to get a sexual partner is still using love magic. But to pass this love magic, usually in a betel nut, to the desired person, again requires a lot of care and skillful courtship. The philosophy of choice in tropical paradise. What do we see when studying the real customs of the Trobriand Islands? We see one of the most progressive cultures in human history. Women's rights in Trobriand Island culture. In this society, a woman gets freedom to choose a partner from the moment of maturity, equal rights with men in romantic relationships, complete control over personal life decisions, financial independence through the female line of inheritance, the ability to divorce without social pressure. Misconceptions about violence arose from inaccurate interpretations by European ethnographs who didn't understand a culture where the main thing is mutual respect and female independence. A land of true freedom. On the Trobriands, there's no tradition of forcing girls to spend time with those who choose them. There's a custom of mutual consent, where the final word always belongs to the woman. This is a place where love magic works not against will, but in support of it, where beauty and desire are equal forces for men and women, where consent is the foundation of all relationships. Maybe we shouldn't judge this culture, but learn from it. Learn to respect a woman's choice. Understand that consent isn't weakness, but strength, and that true freedom begins when society gives equal rights to all its members, regardless of gender. On the Coral Islands off the coast of Papua New Guinea, there still lives a tribe that understood what the modern world is only approaching. Freedom of choice is the foundation of human dignity. And this freedom doesn't belong only to men. It belongs to everyone.